Hey, I'm Matt Manny. Thanks so much for joining me for today's devotional thought from Finding Free. This is day 5, snowflakes. Now, we've all heard the thought that snowflakes, that there's no two snowflakes that are identically alike, identical to each other. And because of that, that terminology has really crossed over into pop culture to talk about people who, well, they're maybe narcissistic or self-focused, they struggle to push through things, and they're very self-absorbed, if you will. And so the question for us is, well, when it comes to your temperament and personality and who you are, well, how unique are you really? How unique are you? Are you like a snowflake? Michael Edwards, he plows through this myth like a plow truck through freshly fallen snow. He's the director of scientific initiatives and exhibits at Science East. Listen to what Edwards has to say about the uniqueness of snowflakes. He says it kind of depends on your definition of what a snowflake is and what your definition of identical and exactly the same is. Roughly a septillion snowflakes fall every year from the sky. That's one with 24 zeros behind it. The chances of finding two snowflakes alike are probable, according to Edwards. So the whole idea that there's no two snowflakes alike, well, Edwards says that's wrong. It's a myth. But we find the term snowflake for somebody who's self-absorbed, well, that came up and came into pop culture in 1996 with a novel turned film called Fight Club. There's a phrase in that movie where an actor says to another, "You're not special. You're not a beautiful and unique snowflake." The term snowflake surfaced in the 1970s in that kind of context. And actually, it goes back, as far as that kind of terminology goes back to the 1860s. These are two extremes of the literal concept of snowflake and the figurative, talking about uniqueness of a snowflake. And the challenge for us is this, is we want to find ourselves, well, we have significance, we are special, but sometimes in the effort to find ourselves being totally unique, well, we end up becoming the focus of ourselves, and we really kind of turn in on ourselves and lose our relationships in the process and lose our sense of clarity from God in the process. Maybe for you, you've said things like, I wish I could be more like, you can put somebody's name in the blank. I want to be more like them. I want to act like them or talk like them or have friendships like them. I wish I were more outgoing, or maybe I wish I were whatever it might be, you can fill in the blank. And really, at the end of the day, do I really want to be like that person though? The chances are, however you are, wherever you're at on the spectrum of things, that you can learn to be okay with who God created you to be. To learn to be perfectly content with how God wired you, with how God made you, with how God created you. And maybe you find yourself, well, I'm kind of boring. Or maybe you find yourself saying, oh, I talk too much, I'm too loud. And maybe you find yourself saying, well, I wish I wasn't like that. But that's okay, because there's nothing wrong with how God made you. The problem for us is that we spend too much time trying to be someone we're not. And here's the amazing thing. I heard a pastor say one time this, that if God made two of us alike, one of us would not be necessary. The truth is that God has created all of us completely different from each other. And in the end, we're all just special snowflakes. Really, it is. But the idea is this, that we are uniquely created by God to, well, to complement each other, to encourage each other. And so where I can complement somebody else in my uniqueness, they can complement me in their uniqueness. And so the focus isn't my uniqueness, but it's taking who I am and how God wired me to be able to help, uplift, encourage, and celebrate the uniqueness of others. 1 Corinthians 12, we talked about this in a previous devotional, this idea that we're all a part of the body of Christ. And in this part that we play in the body of Christ, it's the same thing for whether it's our church, whether it's our family, whether it's our circle of friends, whether it's our neighborhood, our community, that God has placed us here with a unique calling to go ahead and bring the best of who God created us to be to those around us in our friendships and relationships. For further encouragement and study, look at 1 Corinthians 12, verses 8 to 21. 1 Corinthians 12, verses 8 to 21. Thanks so much for watching.